What's up YouTube, and today in this video I'm going to be teaching you the history of TV for the English lesson. Now, as you can see here, this is the limited edition Time for English book for grade 6, and this is the second term. As you can see, this is the limited edition one. Now, in one of my previous videos, I made a video on the musical instruments in the same book, so if you want to check that out, the link will be in the description. Yeah. So, I'm going to be listening and reading along the history of the TV, and I'm going to briefly answer these following questions. And of course, as always, I'll tell you some cool facts in the end. So, let's get to this. So, the history of TV. This website is for TV fans. Do you like TV? How much do you know about the history of the TV or the television? Read this and find out. So, let me focus it for you. In 1939, the first televisions go on sale, which was like 83 years ago, believe it or not. And in 1956, the first televisions with the remote control goes on sale. 1956, that's like, I believe, 66 years ago, which, believe it or not, that's a long time ago. 1960, public broadcasting begins in Egypt. It is in black and white. 1960, that was like 62 years ago, 1969, 720 million people watched the Neil Armstrong walk on the moon. 1969, that was 53 years ago. And yeah, people around the world, 720 million people, they watch Neil Armstrong. They're walking on the moon. He's walking on the moon, planting the flag, So yeah, this is the day when it happened. In 1975, the color broadcasting begins in Egypt. So 1975, this is like 47 years ago. 47 years ago, this is when the color TV came out in Egypt. But I thought the color TV came out in like 1970 or something. Probably, in other places it came out in earlier than that, like maybe 1950, 1960, something like that. And last but not least, 1998, the first Egyptian satellite, the Nilesat 101, was launched. So, this is the brief history on the history of the television, as you can see here. Yeah, now you guys can see better. This is the 6th. And I'm gonna briefly answer these questions. Okay, so number 1, 720 million people watched Neil Armstrong walk on the moon in 1969. Is this true? Yes, it is, because that's what it says on page 230. So it's gonna be true. Make sure I focus it for you guys. So it's gonna be true. Number 2, public broadcasting began in Egypt in 1960. Did it begin in 1960, the public broadcasting? Again, yes it does. So, it's going to be true. So number 1 and number 2 is true. Number 3, public broadcasting was in color in 1998? No, it was in 1975. So, number 3 is going to be false. And the Egyptian satellite Nilesat 102 was launched in 1998. Is this true? Again, it's not. It actually says Nilesat 101. Again, let me focus the camera. So, number 4 again is going to be false. So there you go. And I'm also gonna say the following 4 questions. So, when did the color broadcasting begin? It began in Egypt in 1975, as you can see here. And what did Neil Armstrong do? Neil Armstrong walked on the moon in 1969, which was 53 years ago. When did the first televisions with the remote control goes on sale? Well, the first televisions with remote control went on sale in 1956. So, it's right there. And what happened in 1998? The first Egyptian satellite, Nilesat 101, was launched in 1998. So, 1998, which was 24 years ago. Like, that is a long time ago, believe it or not. So, yeah, that was me talking about the history of TV. Now, of course, I'm going to tell you briefly about the history of the TV. Okay, so about the TVs, I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, so in 1939, of course, when the televisions came out, you couldn't like change the channels or anything like that. All you could do is just turn it on and off and basically turn the volume up and down only. That's all you could do with the TVs at that time. But when the first TVs with the remote control goes on sale, what you do with the remote is, of course, you can change the channels. We didn't have that much channels at that time, but this is what we had the remotes for. And of course, in 1969, like 53 years ago, this is when Neil Armstrong, however you call it, went on the moon, walked on the moon, of course, and planted the flag. So this is what he did, and this is historical ever since. And of course, in Egypt, of course, in 1975, which is around 47 years ago, this is when the first color TVs came out. It wasn't just black and white what it used to be, but yeah. So nowadays we have the color TVs, the TVs that's in color. And of course, I think around like 2004 or 2005, this is when I think the flat screen TVs came out. Now, I'm not sure if it's it, but I heard that this is when it came out. Or maybe at the end of the 2000s, like 2008 or 2009. This is when the flat screen TVs came out. But in the mid 2000s, we had this like big TVs. Here this is what it looks like. I'm not sure what is it called, but it was a really nice TV at that time, and probably is now, as long as if you take good care of it. So this is what TVs look like. And of course, before the flat screen TVs, they were like tube TVs. Here, this is what it looks like in the 1990s and the 2000s, in the early 2000s actually. There were tube TVs and all this, like big fat chunky TVs. And also, like in the 1980s, this is how it looks like. The screen is on the left, but on the right you have those buttons and stuff. And even the 1970s as well, this is what we had. But before the 1970s, like the 1960s, we had the black and white TVs. Similar to the 70s and the 80s, but it just was black and white. But at the end of this video, I'm going to show you, the coolest TV designs that we have, from today and of course in the past, from when the first TVs came out. So this is what I'll show you at the end of the video. Anyway, so that is it. So that is it for this video. Thanks for watching. And that was me showing you the coolest lesson about the history of the TV here in Egypt. So there you go. And this was in the book, of course. Now, in the other parts where I was talking about the coolest facts about the TVs, don't mind about the audio quality. I was literally using my headphones, so the audio between two of these parts is gonna sound different, because one part I didn't use the headphones, while the other I used the headphones, because the headphones had the microphone. And of course, guys, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to share the videos to your friends and families as well. Please do, because this helps me grow my channel. And also, we now have 411 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for getting me more subscribers. I don't know what would I do without you guys. So keep up the good work. Anyway, so I'll see you guys again in the next video.